Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Just some trash runs lately. Some runs that have not been particularly strong. We got the Scissors, CVL8 QMEP, with, a certain je ne sais quoi, shall we say, in the form of Tear Detonator, which I think with with multi-dimensional baby might be okay. It's not a terrible. Did I give you the seed? CVL8 QMEP? I think I did, yeah. See, for you, the day that I gave you the seed was the most important day of your life. And for me, it was Saturday. It's a Saturday right now is the thing. Yes, it is also a quote from the landmark film Street Fighter the movie, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, Kylie Minogue, and Raul Julia. I don't know why I said it like that. It's a kind of a somber film for him. The last one he acted in before his death, but, you know, some very memorable scenery chewing, shall we say. Entertained. Look, I'm not trying to sell you the Blu-ray. I'm just saying. Death's Touch. Great choice right off the bat. I'd love to have, like, just a nice, easy-ish sort of run that also maybe progresses us a little bit towards finishing our goal of eventually getting 1,000,001%. I mean, what more can you ask for in this world, you know? Than having a run that goes well, and at the same time also, you know, it moves you towards something even bigger than yourself, which is what we're looking for here. And I mean, it's starting to get there right off the bat, if I'm being honest with you. That's probably a second secret room, and it's a good second secret room that gives us a great chance of getting a deal with the devil in the future, and then, I don't really care. I mean, could it? I don't even think it can be a secret room, but I kind of want to test that. Yeah, okay. That doesn't mean it can't be, just that it wasn't, which is slightly different, but you get the idea. Alright, probably a library right off the bat. Book of Secrets. We'll use that twice for effectively no reason whatsoever. You know what? Let's take How to Jump. Tear Detonator. You're on probation for a floor. You have a chance, a genuine chance, to get into a position of some value. You know, who knows? Maybe we pick up a soy milk or something on this floor and we decide that it's all for the best. Unicorn Stump? Unicorns? It's a quarter. It's nice, sort of. It sort of is and it sort of isn't. I would describe it as a middling item. It's one of those items, you know, for a while in Isaac I was like, obsessed might not be the right word, but I was preoccupied with every item. I would evaluate it on like a financial level. I'd be like, well, this is approximately worth, you know, 1.8 champion belts. Right, we have the scissors, so those are free bombs. Well, in this case, it's probably worth it then, in that case. It's not really the way that you can evaluate most items, but the quarter definitely fits the bill. We spent a key, which is 5 cents, to get 25 cents, so it's a net gain of 20 cents. I'm not going to count the key I'm going to use to go into the shop, because I wouldn't probably be using that anyway. But then it depends on what's inside of the shop, so I don't know, is the average item from an item room worth more than the average item from a shop, or worth less than the average item from a shop? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. I feel like I'm less excited to go to shops, but that's usually because they require money. So it's a bit of a complicated sort of mechanism to evaluate on a regular basis. Hey, thank you for all of the incredible tinted rocks that have really allowed me to make great progress on floor 1. Absolutely, I'll take the guillotine. Might as well blow this up as well. Guillotine is not necessarily good. A lot of people like it, a lot of people dislike it. I'm in the yeah camp. And by that I mean, yeah, there are a lot of people that dislike it and a lot of people that like it. You're not wrong. Which one of those groups is more right? I do not know, to be honest with you. I do not know. Well, that's okay. I love the orbital. I like the rate of fire increase, of course, and we especially sadly sort of needed it. I don't like the way it plays with like my mental map of where I'm standing, because usually you look at the largest part of your character to figure out where your character is and where your hitbox is, if we're gonna be, you know, as transparent about it as possible. Please? Please? Let's go. Yeah, let's do this. We might get a second secret room out of it. We didn't? Dude, when you open a golden chest, and it's a penny and a red heart. Just like, stop that. That's a genuine stop that. Let's go. There's some value out of the guillotine. We probably shouldn't have picked that up. It doesn't actually matter in hindsight. We'll take all 3 of these just because we can. Succubus is lovely. We went to the item room. We went to the shop. Yeah, we're out of here. It's a great run so far. Guillotine, I'd love, like, you don't feel beholden to this, but if you could give me, like, some homing tears, that would be on the... But, I mean, when I'm standing in the succubus area, I do have, 14 damage, so I kind of feel weird asking for anything else on this run, because it's, like, already really good. No, but I have the scissors, so those things should not have worked like that, in my opinion, at least. I guess it's open to interpretation. Anyway, Succubus is probably maybe one of the best items in the game. It's got to be top 20. You might think that's modest, but there's like a lot of really, really good items in Isaac. Succubus definitely, it can be like a game-changing item. Or, you know, if you're already in a good spot, just an item that makes your run a lot better. I mean, look at this. We're not even down here, and Succubus basically wiped out 3 enemies in one go. Of course, the more your damage improves, the more Succubus improves your damage, and the more Succubus's damage improves. It's like a win-win-win-win-win. I don't know, it's like an infinite recursion of wins. The AE erase? No. You can use recursion in a non-programming sense as well, okay? Let's not misrepresent the D's, the A's, and the E's. DAE is a sacred term. The sacred text. I would still like homing shots, though. I'm not gonna, you know, throw a fit if I don't get them, but I will probably make a pretty impassioned YouTube video about it. It'll be called, well, if only there was a way for me to know what this episode would be called in advance. Thank you for the free bombs. And thank you for the bombs. I like how the big ones become 2 bombs. What a nice touch. Little pageant boy. You know what would be really good here? Money equals power. You know what would be really good here? An item that benefits us. I'm going to distill my own commentary down to a nutshell. So there's Bookworm. It's kind of a, I wouldn't say a tough choice, but, you know, sometimes most of the time you're not going to buy the Bible. So to buy the Bible there was good. I's the buy that buys the book. I's the buy that writes it. I's the buy that reads the book and brings it home to Isaac. It sort of worked. So we have car battery, how to jump, which is just obviously idiotic, but we can hopefully get something that modifies it in the future. Forgive me. I kind of like Loki's horns here. You know, we got weird guillotine shots. I kind of wish I'd stuck with Tear Detonator now, which I'm assuming would maybe work with car battery. It's not like I'm disappointed, like, to an enormous extent, but could be better, is all I'm saying. We do have, like, oh, we took a health upgrade pill, that's right. That's why we have 1 HP that we could actually fill in there. Let's see what we can buy here. I'll give you 1 cent. I almost gave you 2. Nah. We're on the caves 1, so I'll give it a try. I don't think it works with car battery, but oh my god, like, just in terms of the item we got, obviously we're excited. It's pretty great. And we'll be moving on. I don't know what it is. There's some cruel cosmic joke that we can't get Unicorn Stump, despite the fact that it's, like, literally the first item I got in Rebirth when it came out. We already have piercing shots. Oh, nice, right? But I think I want better piercing shots, because the alternative is just, like, extremely who cares. The other thing we need, and need is a strong word when you got double-digit damage on the 4th floor. The other thing we would like to have is a much, much better rate of fire. You know, I think people sometimes, they hear me complaining and they think, oh, this guy is ungrateful for what he has in Isaac. It's not the case. I think other people, though, they're of the opinion that you should look at a run as if it's a zero-sum game. You know, you got amazing damage. You don't need a good rate of fire. Nah, I want it all. Once my fire rate gets up, give me some more HP. Once my HP gets up, oh, I can't see where I'm going. The rich get richer, mon frere. And when you're rich on the 3rd floor, because you got double-digit damage, takes a lot to satisfy. Now this is where I segue into like an indecent proposal sort of thing. Something happens and I'm head over heels. I never find out until I'm head over heels. All right, I'm not singing alone right now. Didn't see you there, YouTube. Hello. Don't take my heart, don't break my heart, don't throw it away. You guys listen to Tears for Fears? No, Dad, we only listen to mumble rap. You will buy why I oughta. Dude, I was troubled for society recently. One of the enduring themes in my videos is that I'm young, and I kind of like pretend to be old, but I am kind of like, I don't know, the average age of a person on planet Earth is something like 40 years old, but the average age of someone on YouTube is like literally like 19, and I'm not even being sarcastic. Yeah, we'll go here anyway. Just wanted to see if we got like a good pill. And I'm not, if you're over the age of 19, don't feel self-conscious about it. I'm over the age of 19 as well. You know, but there's, when you go, oh, well, the average person on Earth is a 34-year-old Han Chinese farmer from blah blah. Yeah, well, you know, it's not the average person on the internet. The average person on the internet is a 6'4" ex-Navy SEAL who graduated top of their class and is very surprised at the things that you just said to him, you little bee. There was a Reddit thread the other day, and it was like, what things that are popular now do you think won't be cool in a while? And it made me realize that I'm not old. I'm not old. People take issue when I say I'm old, and it's true. I'm not old. But it made me realize that I think I've graduated one level up in age, or at least in seriousness, because the #1 posts were things you would expect. People were like, I don't like mumble rap. Mumble rap's not gonna be popular in 5 years. Dabbing. You know, stuff like that. Eating Tide Pods. Like, yeah, okay. You're right, those are fads. You gotta get down to like the 80th post until somebody was like, the dogpile nature of social media and constantly dunking on people publicly for support and serotonin instead of trying to find a middle ground to discuss in teachable moments that allow us to grow as a society. I was like, thank you! That's 80 posts. I was like, I found the other 29-year-old, I think. I remember being 24. What do you hope is not a part of the world in 2017? YOLO. I mean, it's so stupid. All the kids 5 years younger than me are saying, no! I mean, yeah, like, look, I was gonna say, like, I get it, but I don't get it. The Tide Pod thing is all blowback. Like, this couple people made a joke about it. All of a sudden, 2 people do it, and now it's like an epidemic in the media, at least. But, like, who cares if people dab? What doesn't matter? You know, I go to a sports game, that's the only time I see people dabbing. They're always like 9, and I go, sick, that kid just dabbed. That's cool. We're still doing the wave. Like, grown-ups will be like, dabbing is lame. I just called adults grown-ups. Wow, maybe I'm not as old as I thought. Like, dabbing is stupid. Oh, here comes the wave, honey. Oh, what, you don't have pride for our team? Stand up and do the wave. No, it's extremely different, Sharon. The wave is serious. It shows the team we support them. Dabbing is just, you know, I'm not supporting dabbing. It's just, there's nothing to not support. It's just a freaking, it's a dance move, my dudes. I was like, we got problems in our society, man. #1 thing that you can think of, probably the one child who ate a laundry pad. I said a laundry pod, or a pad, excuse me. We got real problems, man. Everybody's got real problems. We got real problems too, though. This is now I pull over the stool, take a drink of water, and I launch into the next part of my stand-up routine. No, but genuinely, I mean, I don't know. It's not that I don't hold any hope for, like, the future of society, but I think social media has kind of, like, ruined all of us. You can't have a nuanced discussion. I was on Roundtable, as you might expect, yesterday, which is revealing the size of the backlog. But, like, we talked about a decision that Ubisoft had made. And by the way, if you're saying Ubisoft instead of Ubisoft right now and laughing at me, you're part of the problem. You're gonna feel real silly momentarily. Because that's a semantic argument. But anyway, and we were talking about the fact that they had chosen, and this has been walked back since, so, you know, like 8 weeks ago when this video was recorded, it's been walked back. They were going to raise the price of Rainbow Six Siege by 20 bucks, and they were going to add in real money loot boxes, and people who had been supporting the game for a long time were not going to get loot boxes for free, but people who were buying it for the first time were going to get loot boxes for free. People were very mad. I introduced it on Roundtable. I said, this is a brain-dead decision. It's the stupidest decision I've seen in games in a long time. Your game's gotten popular again because it's really good, but it kind of only got good because of the community in the first place that was willing to have patience with it, and now you're squandering that community and kind of milking them for all it's worth. Why use a bomb there? You have how to jump. And everyone went like, yeah. And then we sort of got into what I felt, and this is rightly or wrongly, but it's tangential to the nature of the argument. We rightly or wrongly got on the subject of like whether Ubisoft knew what they were doing, and then when they walked it back, it was like calculated PR, like they expected that they would come over the top with some like really negative news, and then they'd walk it back with some news that seemed better but was really only marginally less negative, so it kind of deadened the consumer sense. I probably could have been more tactful about it, I'll admit that. But I essentially made it clear, in my mind at least, that I was not going to be beholden to being someone with a public platform that was going to push a conspiracy theory like that without any sort of basis backing it up. My co-hosts are innocent, but I was amazed to find that in the response to that, in the response to me saying, I don't want to be the guy who is going to take a rumor that we made up and then get mad about it and then get like 1,000 people mad about it. For not doing that, people in the comments were like, there goes Ryan, the dude who called this decision brain dead 8 minutes ago, sucking the corporate D again. Wow, pro-corporate NL doesn't care about the little guy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you are... This is not to say poor, pitiful me, because I should have known it would happen. I've been doing this job for a long time. It's much, much easier to just always be the guy who's like, this company's trying to screw us. Because everybody, well, not everybody, most people find it very easy to believe when something makes them a victim, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. And this, you know, the V word is very loaded these days. I mean it in a literal sense. Whenever a news story comes out that's like, this company's doing something, immediately I think the initial reaction is, that's bad, no matter what it is, for the most part. And that it's like, it's anti-consumer. Dude, we're in a dangerous spot here. But I really feel like, and this is maybe, again, maybe I'm taking my stance too seriously, but I think we have a platform, and with that platform comes a small, at least a little bit of a responsibility to know what we're talking about before we put, like, basically signal boost something to thousands or even tens of thousands of people. So, like, I was, upset's not the right word. I was upset, but I wasn't, like, in tears and bawling, but I was more, like, forlorn that this is the reaction to trying to make sure that we have evidence for our opinions, is that it comes across as pro-corporations, you know. It all ties into what I was just gonna say. Oh no, little baggy. Please be good? Little baggy, please be good. Don't make me bleed my blood. Okay. Because I'm getting a little bit, like, off the... Get a little off the point here. I want to get up to that blood bank and the shop. We should take our time here. Even though it is boss rush floor. We ain't doing boss rush in this situation. I think that, like, particularly on social media, and I include YouTube here, it's people get intoxicated by dunking on other people. As soon as you get, like, a little bit of a platform, it's like, hey, check out this, like, bad opinion. You don't even try to, like, you don't reach out to them first. If it's a truly heinous opinion, by all means, dunk them. But, like, so many times I see, like, a well-intentioned person getting dunked on, and I'm just like, you don't realize that what you're doing is poisoning the well of human interaction. Like, I don't even want to talk about video games anymore. I don't want to talk about... This is why, like, on Twitter and in Isaac videos, it's just riffing, right? Like, first off, there's enough people out there, oh, thank God, already doing it. But, like, I don't want to talk about games anymore, because it's just, we're part of this cycle of, like, negative news. Like, I feel sometimes when we do the podcast, we go, like, here's your negative news for the week. Because if you ever have positive news, you're, like, kind of maligned. I might be misrepresenting the issue, you know? And hopefully it doesn't weaken my stance to say that. I think it's more mature to say that. Maybe I just came across poorly in the discussion. And I can understand that, and I can accept that. But, I don't know, man. I get fatigued sometimes when I look at games media, and it's just, look at this company did something bad, dunk them. This company did something bad, dunk them. That's fine. If you do something truly heinous, like really the Battlefront stuff was where I was like, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. But, I don't know, man. Why don't we spend more time spotlighting good games that don't get enough press instead of... Because I think that I'm getting there. I can feel the intoxication of getting to what my point is actually going to be over the next half hour. You know, I just think, like, sometimes I look at the news, because my parents watch the news all the time, and I looked, I should say, down on that when I was younger. I was like, you don't understand, but you're just, like, addicted to bad news. And then that bad news makes you think that the world is worse than it is. And how do you get over that? Well, you watch the news tomorrow to see what you're supposed to be afraid of. But we're doing, like, the same thing in video games. Like, I will say, like, I definitely agree that there are... One second, this cat wants in. Hello, Ruka. Welcome. I definitely agree that there are, like, egregious gouging practices that some companies do. And I'm not going to say, like, oh, you can't... So this is the other... incredibly intellectually dishonest approach that some people take. Also, criticism is not allowed then, so it's like censorship. No, it's not censorship. I'm just asking you to be, like, you know, conscientious in the way that you approach these discussions. We might as well take something, now that I think about it. Let's go top right. Just kidding. He's done it. But I think it's also plausible that not every developer of every size and every publisher and every gaming outlet and every writer and every YouTuber and every DLC announcement is out to screw you. And I just... Oh, we got bombs. Be careful. Even just saying that, this is like what the climate is like. I can't believe it got so real here. It's what, like, the climate is such that even just saying that makes me feel uncomfortable, because I think it could be taken as being pro-corporation when I don't think it is. I think it's, like, pro-entertainment and, like, promoting good games. And you could even say, like, you know, well, why are you playing Isaac instead of playing, like, a new game? And the answer is, you got me. With your whataboutism, you've gotten me, and I think it's actually valid. I should do a better job about that. I genuinely feel bad whenever there's, like, a game doesn't get press and I like it. Oh, no. Oh, no. You know, I feel bad. I feel like I could have done more, even if it's not necessarily my responsibility. I think I've first said this on video probably like 3 or 4 years ago. My little nugget of take-home message, whether you think I'm full of crap in the whole course of this discussion, you have the right to. No questions asked. Most of the time, I think I'm full of crap too. Whenever, as gamers, people who consume game-related media, whenever you see positive news and you find that little part of the back of your mind that goes, is this person a paid shill? Just remember, negative news is not necessarily more truthful just because it's negative. People have this opinion, well, of course they would lie to say the game is better than it actually is. Because, you know, maybe the publisher is paying them. So, of course, they're going to say it's better. They got a vested financial interest there. Everyone's bought and paid for in this industry, right? Well, wrong. But, like, beyond that, people think, like, why would anyone lie about a game being too negative? Because it gets the views to an extreme degree. I've been in this business a long time. I'm not taking a knock at any of my colleagues, especially many of whom grow out of this. And I was kind of in there. Remember Poison Mushroom? Oh! Oh no, he died again. I'm not like, you know what, let's do an Azazel run. I'm feeling impassioned. Poison Mushroom is all about dunking on games. And that's fine. It was entertainment. It was fun. And the games were like horrible. So, I'm not gonna say that I'm completely innocent. And that's what I mean. Like there's room for gradation and nuance and stuff like that. But, you know, there's a big period on YouTube where everybody was like the angry gamer. The gamer who's rude. Real gaming news from a rude dude, you know? And, well, part of the reason that stuff grew, not all of it, I mean, those people are talented, they work hard, but part of the reason it grew is because people think implicitly that someone who says negative things is being more honest than somebody who says positive things, at least in this industry. You know the old axiom, like, people like to believe convenient lies that make them feel good? I think it's like the opposite in games. I think people are much more likely to see the negative. And all I say in this whole, like, very self-inflating kind of conversation is just apply the same axiom of reason to negative news that you do to positive news. And, you know, think about maybe this person has a vested interest in selling me a negative opinion. You know, do they have a vested interest in getting their fan base, you know, whipped up over something and then responding in kind? Like, does that elevate their platform in the industry? Does it give them controversy, which gives them attention? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, I worry about my own role in it, I guess. And I was taken aback when I saw the response in the discourse. To me, not even defending a company, but just saying, I don't know if we should be pushing what I considered at the time to be something of a baseless accusation. But anyway, that's what the Reddit thread sent me off on. Welcome to being inside of my head for an hour or something like that. I saw the Reddit thread and I said, man, lots of things. Social media dunking culture, call-out culture. People no longer, and maybe this is not recent, but it feels recent, people no longer caring if the facts line up with their opinions. Having an opinion, and then when the facts don't line up, just ignoring the facts. That's definitely like as old as time itself. But with social media, it's so much easier to find someone who agrees with you, even if you're being an idiot. And I benefit. I have some bad opinions, man. And I mean this literally. There can be bad opinions, but I mean, and as I also mean it satirically, I guess, because like, you know, oh, my favorite game 2 years ago was Shenzhen IO. Well, what about blah 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 game? Sure, yeah, it's like a bad opinion in the sense that like if you were to see how it related or compared to like the average person's game of the year list or whatever, they would probably be like, you know, what are you talking? What the heck is Shenzhen IO? Or, you know, you can't believe you made Battlegrounds a game of the year or something like that. That's an incendiary opinion that a lot of people shared, and it was easy to find people who shared that opinion because of the fact that I had a platform. But, man, I don't know. All I'm saying is, who the heck cares about dabbing? That's the point I'm trying to get across. Maybe I'm aging out a little bit, but dabbing? The Tide Pod thing I don't understand. It's become a meme to like make fun of people, especially, well, 300 years ago our kids were working on the farm, now they're eating Tide Pods. I'm looking around me like, where? I ain't never seen a child eat a Tide Pod, maybe because I don't go looking for it. This is not like it's a problem if your kid eats a Tide Pod and, you know, they got poison. That sucks. Is it like everybody's eating Tide Pods? I don't think so. What school are you sending your kids to? Take them out of there. Tide Pod University is not. We got real, actual problems. A couple of kids eating poison. It sucks. Not. I mean, that sounds like very callous. I'm just saying. I think that it's the echo. You know, something minor happens, and then somebody with a platform goes, "Can you believe this is happening?" When it really happened once, and then, you know, all of a sudden it gets 100,000 retweets, and people are like, kids everywhere are eating Tide Pods, dabbing, and supporting Ubisoft. More after the break, but you've already gotten what you need to know. Oh, he's going off. We're going to take everything, obviously. We're probably going to roll Satanic Bible long-term here. I'm just saying, you know, if you're going to apply a critical eye, you have to apply it both ways. Being negative sells. Being positive can sell too. It's kind of, I mean, there are channels, I don't want to call them out necessarily, but like, there's Nintendo related channels that are basically like Nintendo Power for the modern generation. I think they serve their place, but I mean, there's like, especially super kid friendly channels. How do you feel about The new Animal Crossing board game on Nintendo Wii U, a game which I own and hate because it's bad. It's so good. You can put the KK Slider amiibo on the Wii Pad, and you can play as KK Slider, and it's not just a roll and move game, I promise. Like, there's definitely, I mean, there's a case to be made that positivity sells as well. But I think negativity particularly for, like, people in my demographic, sells well. I try to counteract it, man. I really do. And maybe that's where the artifice comes from sometimes. People think that it's fake positivity or comes across as saccharine. But it's really just like, it gets exhausting to hear people always be negative about everything in an industry that, when it comes down to it, is like, it's art, but they're also toys. I know I'm running the risk of alienating my target audience. I love games. I get disillusioned with games media sometime, where I'm like, oh, it's a 4-hour video railing on people, like the developers, for being lazy. This is a little bit of an exaggeration and a misrepresentation from my part, but like, it's a toy. I don't really want it to stop. I just want to know if that happens in other industries. Like, if, you know, there's like an action figure industry, and then is there a channel like the Angry Action Figure Reviewer who goes and he finds the worst action figures and goes like, Mattel, come on! You use the plastic resin instead of the polyfibrous carbon resin? In today's day and age, the consumers won't stand for it. The other thing is, people always... I get slandered, I think, as being pro-corporation. It would have been great if I misspoke and said pro-consumer, but I think I get slandered as being pro-corporation. I'm like the most pro-consumer out of anybody. Because I tell you, if you don't like it, don't buy it. That might be a little bit misleading, but... I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good, you know, it's like one of the best games I played all year, but if it doesn't look like the kind of thing that's up your alley, just don't buy it. Save your money. Buy a sandwich, you know? I think that's pro-consumer. I tell you to spend money, never. And all of a sudden I go, maybe it's okay. Bethesda put in a $3 hairstyle DLC and everybody loses their minds. At this point, I'm just being silly for the most part. I just ask you to, you know, if you don't think it's a problem, more power to you. Thank you for listening. If you do think it's a problem, nothing else you gotta do. Just, you know, use a critical eye when you watch media. If you see people that are always negative, what do you think's more likely? The news is always negative, or they just find the negative news? That's what I worry about, is the cycle of... like, I don't know how real I want to get it. I mean, at this point, it's like, how many people watch these videos? 50,000, oh my lord. Well, as long as nobody has a dissenting opinion, that's fine by me. Like, I worry because we're in this industry, and, like, to level with you, there's been a lot of mental health problems on YouTube and Twitch lately. People, like, not just in our circle, but, like, very visibly, people are like, hey, every now and then I kind of, like, hate myself when I do this job, and I, like, you know, the comments on the internet get me down. They're so negative all the time, even though there are people that support me a lot and blah, blah, blah. And I go, yeah, no, I get you, because I feel it too. Who doesn't, dude? But, like, we're also, what role do we play in perpetuating that if we're so snarky and mean all the time? You know, if we're always, like, assuming the worst in every situation, and then, of course, people, like, some of that gets reflected back on. You know, obviously, I'm not referring to, like, genuine harassment or, you know, vitriolic trolling or anything like that, but I'm like... And rest assured, it's not, like, you can be as nice as you want on the internet. You're still gonna get people that are, like, very rude to you. Even if you're not part of this, like, culture of negativity. But I'm like, yeah, man, we play a role. I think we can admit we play a role in that, don't we? Why are, like, comments about game stuff so snarky online? I think it's because the people that commenters consume media from tend to be snarky, myself included. I don't know. I just, like... This all makes it sound like, for the past half hour, this is, like, my screed. Like, I'm leaving the industry because of blah, blah. No, like, I've already cemented, like, where I like to be in the industry. I like to be the guy who's, you know, I can pop off an Isaac video that's 45 minutes long. I could talk about stuff in the industry. We talked about Battlefront stuff. I was genuinely mad about the Battlefront 2 stuff. But then also, if I go, you know, I can also just talk about, you know, like, the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. Like, do you think it's weird when the Blue Collar Comedy Tour goes out to eat and they're at, like, a fancy restaurant that serves sushi or something like that? Like, do you think that they have to preserve an image of eating it with a knife and a fork, or do they just not consume sushi because it's not part of the ethos, or maybe they just eat it and I'm overly, like, thinking about it, you know what I mean? That's why I'm not doing... We used to do news on the NLSS. We do like an hour of gaming news. Stop that real quick. Here's the cycle of gaming news, okay? There's a trailer for this game. Wow, looks great. This game comes out in a week. Oh, they screwed it up. There's some DLC. Let's be mad. Like, that's a little bit overly simplistic, and there's shades of gray, but there's a lot of that. So the real, like, galaxy brain... Is it 2 of diamonds? 2 of clubs. The real galaxy brain of what to do, in my opinion, for me personally, is just to essentially make silly content that hopefully people enjoy, that uses games in the background, and sometimes is the foreground. Like, if I'm gonna pivot off of this discussion, because it is a little, like, it's not heavy. Like, I haven't been uncomfortable having this conversation with myself, mostly because, again, I never have to face a dissenting opinion as long as I'm in my echo chamber right here. Not on YouTube, but I mean, oh lord, what have we done? Please give me the guys. I mean, specifically with nobody watching this until 3 weeks from now when it comes out. You know, that's why I've been, like, so happy and playing so much Slay the Spire. I've been like, this is like a feel-good story of the century. It's just like a good game. That's sweet. It's like a good game that mostly everybody likes. It's been a lot of fun to play it. I think we can't get a 4th level Meat Boy, so I will just probably Black Rune that. Right now, okay, we've re-rolled it. I probably need the HP, so... Oh, you idiot. You genius. Oh man, I need some water. My throat is getting like, this is my natural speaking voice right now. Oh my god. We could clear out the whole room with 1 Black Rune if we wanted. Probably not a great idea. Well, we got some HP there. Fortunately or unfortunately. Anyway, if you're tired of the conversation today, or if you disagree with me, I'm sorry. And I will say again, this is the thing, is like, has a YouTuber ever said anything as pompous as what I'm about to say? I have a great respect for reason and discourse, and like, that's, I want to be clear because I mean it, even as silly as it sounds. You know, I might just be making myself look like some kind of patron saint of rhetoric, when actually I was like, well, Ubisoft's a good company. Like, maybe something like that came out of my mouth and I just don't remember it, but I don't know. I still think it's somewhat valid. It ties into, like, I guess what I'm saying is I want you to challenge my opinion here, if you disagree with me, because I'd like to grow more as a result of it. I'm in no danger of bouncing out of the industry. These are the things you think about. You know, your first year in the industry, oh, how am I gonna buy groceries? I've got them! Second year in the industry, sure hope my fan base doesn't up and leave instantly. 12 months later, somehow they're still here. And then, like, that one is on a while loop. That just repeats forever. Your 5th year in the industry, you're like, maybe long term we're leading to an erosion of the level of discourse on the internet with the way that we treat issues. You know, I don't know, by year 10 I'm gonna be splitting the freaking atom or something like that, and I'll still be playing Isaac while I do it, and I'll be happy to be doing it. That's my 2 cents, Larry King style. Well, thanks for watching it. Would you be mad? Would you be mad if I just ended the episode there? You should be. That's a breaking of the sacred contract between broadcaster and viewer. You watch 3,000 of these episodes with a certain standard. It's gonna be 1 run beginning to end, bare minimum. That's a violation of the deal that you and I set out ages ago in the Council of Nicaea. It's hard to go from, like, talking about one subject for 20 minutes to then, like, pivoting completely, but I mean, that's kind of also the way that this series has worked. I'm looking at this run and I'm like, I don't even know what we have. We have great everything. We really do. We have, like, our DPS is crazy. Our luck is awesome, which is even better because we have Maw of the Void, so we're pulling off some, I mean, phrasing, but we're getting some amazing returns in the form of our red hearts here. And then we got a spacebar item that, you know, it's very difficult for us to die as long as we use that appropriately, and I'm like adrift on this run. Sometimes you get a little too focused on the commentary, but you know what? Every once in a while you need a real episode. Some episodes, you're narrating what you're doing. It can be good, it can be a little boring. Some episodes you don't narrate what you're doing at all. It could be good, it could be a little preachy. Are we on depths 2? So we didn't really need there's options. Oh, BFF is okay. It's not like we need to donate, so. Placebo does nothing. Damage is always nice. Spider mod's fine. Car battery, sure, and then we'll leave. I don't know, that's like... You also have to accept that, like, when I got started on YouTube, those were the channels. It was like, what do you do if you're gonna make it on YouTube? Let's Plays existed, but they were like, you know, I'm not gonna say small. We should have used that on Boss Rush, you silly boy. It was like, you gotta do the screw attack thing, you gotta do the angry video game thing, you gotta make like, you gotta make like a news channel, talk about gaming news and do reviews of like old games. Nothing wrong with it. It's just, you know, I'm glad that somehow we found a niche of, hey, watch us have fun playing games, and that's enough. Okay, so like Black Rune that, and then get me the heck out of town. I think that's the way we want it to go. I'm happy with that kind of space that we occupy. I'm happier that way, I think, for sure. I don't think people willfully like make bad news, but I think it's kind of seductive, right? You know what? You don't want to watch the news, and the news is like, hey, the weather's good, and like town's pretty sick, so it's like everything's cool, bro. You know, you want to watch. It's just not entertaining, and if you gotta keep people tuning in so you don't lose your job. I'm not saying there's not bad news, but you know, there's a reason that bad news is. They might as well just call the news bad news. Unless your city gets like the Olympics or something like that, the news is bad news. Until you get to, if you watch like an hour of the news at the end, they're like, in lighter news, after the 14 murders, here's a dog wearing a Chewbacca mask. Roar. Isn't that great? See you tomorrow for more murders and car accidents. I don't know why this is like the... It's the Monster Hunter music. That's a game. Anyway, I'm cognizant of the fact that I got too preachy, but hopefully you can do better than I did and find a certain nugget of relatability. Look, it doesn't matter. Within the sprawling miasma of my opinion is all I'm saying. None of that was meant as a complaint, and none of it was meant as a shot on the bow of my colleagues at all, especially the roundtable boys. It was more just my, I hope it was, Algis, please, no. Diplomatically displaying my concerns of a high-level nature after a lot of time in the business. I'm not saying all news should be good news, just that, you know, you make a selection of what you report on. People make a selection of what to watch. You know, we both got our part in the transaction. So like when I go to Reddit, my front page is not like terrible things. Maybe that leads to me being naive, but I think that that's a moving of the goalposts. Instead, it's like a dude trying to fight a street light. So whenever I go there, it puts a smile on my face, and I go, look at that idiot. He's trying to fight that street light. I think, like, if you go to the default subreddits, it's like, you know, things are bad. And maybe they are. I don't know, man. I'm struggling to build off of our existing point, is what I'm saying. And my God, I am parched. This was supposed to be the last video. It was supposed to be so easy. Yeah, that's right. I listen to the streets. I listen to world music. By my standards. Let's see. Okay, I mean we got like a lot of things coming out. Okay, it's a little Onsus action. Please, I'm just like, there we go. N is the guys. And the secondary point I want to make is watch whatever you like. It's your time. Buy whatever you like. It's your money. As long as there's no dissenting opinions. I think about it a lot more on social media, to be honest, because it doesn't require me to actually look inwards about my own industry. Like, whenever I see someone get dunked on social media, like, look at this guy with his bad opinion. I'll admit, you know, I check his profile and I go, is this a guy who is a bad guy and has a really bad opinion that he's proud of? Or is this a guy who, like, means well but made a mistake and is now being, like, embarrassed when he could have just been taught? And, like, is still teaching him. I just worry that if you teach people, like, imagine if, like, you know, you didn't know how to multiply but you wanted to know how to multiply. And you said, like, hey, 3 times 3 is 10. And then your teacher went, hey, class, look at this moron with his bad opinion. 3 times 3 equals 10. What an idiot. You would probably just drop out of school. You wouldn't come back the next day if you had any choice in the matter. You wouldn't come back the next day with your learning cap on. You'd be like, screw this, I'm out. I worry that's what we do on social media. We're like, hey, this person has a bad opinion. Check it out and laugh. And they're like, well, I meant well, but screw me, I guess. See you later. Not always. Not always. But sometimes, maybe. I think so. Dude, I'm loving these Onsus runes. They're like a gift from above. A cosmic sign that my opinion is correct. Because otherwise, why would I be being so rewarded for expressing it? Just like a single per throw would be a nice improvement for me. Nothing there. Ah, wait, whoa. Almost made a classic mistake, NL. It's a little tinted rock right there. Don't forget about that. By all things, or by all known laws of aviation, of course, but this is not that fast of an Azazel run when you really look at it. It's just like it's pretty much a normal speed Azazel run. It's really strong, but it wasn't that fast. Oh my god, we get 140 damage per tick with our cube of meat. That's outrageous. Sign me up for more of that. See, it's me trying to make some good news. Oh man. I just got a tweet. This is why I tweet about things and talk about things in Isaac episodes that are largely not serious. It ends up helping me out on a daily basis. Sure, let's give it a try. That's neat. Somebody tweeted me and said, you can indeed change the order of podcast playlists on Google Play Music. Thank you. Oh man, that's great news. I'm not even joking. I downloaded a new app. Well, not a new app, but like a different app to listen to podcasts as a result of not being able to find that feature. And I listen to all my podcasts on Podcast Addict. That thing is like amazing. Not just as a listener, but as a I'm gonna say it, okay? Don't make fun of me. As an app designer, some of the things they've done with that app, I'm like, as soon as you're playing something, if you add something to a playlist, the thing that you're playing becomes the first item in the playlist, even if you didn't say add the playlist. That's such a positive thing. Like, that's like the computer reading my mind to know what I want. Now, the problem, I guess, is if you didn't want that to happen, you didn't tell it to happen, and as a result, all of a sudden you could be a little, not upset, but perturbed, but still, that's what I want. I want to click on a podcast and then go, whoops, I should have put this as part of a playlist. And when I add other stuff to the playlist, they add it in a playlist after the thing already being played. It's genius. Who made that? You're gods. You are the lords of the app. We have no keys, and yet we must stream. I mean, we're just gonna ride this one to completion. That's just phrasing, man. We're gonna finish this run off with our hands. Nope, that's not, well, that's not even literally true, because it's with our hands and mouth, really. Okay, what do we got here? What is this? A center for ants? So, like, we have soy milk, triple shot incubus, which is still almost an outrageous amount of damage. But it's also like a little annoying. So I'm very eager to get through it and get some more we do have battery baby as well, so we'll probably get over it pretty quickly. We have Death's List, which I'm going to choose not to care about. Help. And we have, well, we have a lot of items that are about to be re-rolled into something that's hopefully a heck of a lot better than this, don't we? See ya! Beelzebub. So we have Epic Fetus, but I don't think it counts as having Epic Fetus if you re-roll into it. We do get Eden's Blessing, though. And we just ruined Epic Fetus, but... oh, no, not necessarily? I don't know, man. What does more damage, the bombs or the lasers? Classic age-old playground debate. Probably stop blowing yourself up. Well, this is how it's gonna be. It's actually very strong. In fact, now it's extremely strong. Don't shoot your shots at me. Your acts of aggression, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. I'm not doing delirium, I'll tell you that much. We're out of here. Thanks for watching this very preachy soapboxy episode. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. I've said a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.